Hey everyone, Reece here. It's your fun assistant director buddy that we know and love, mayhaps. Anyway, I'm back with another Dreamcatcher reaction. This time we're checking out the second track right after Chase Me is Good Night, and I believe it should follow the narrative that was previously set out. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I think I chose a great day to wear all black. It's very fitting for this little nightmare-inducing theme. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Oh snap, we starting right off the bat. Picking up straight from where we left off, but with a film reel burning out kind of effect. Shows in the past. Interesting, okay. Much more up-tempo right off the bat. I love it. There's a little Dreamcatcher. Nice. Someone's in the forest with them. Okay. Starting right off the bat with a very similar quick cuts, the depth of field kind of thing. Focus shifting, sorry. Interesting what this book's gonna reveal. Interesting, there's a strong orange light they have coming from camera left. And I don't know how I feel about it. It's too warm, maybe. Who knows? Ooh. I'm intrigued by what each of these pages are referring to, other than the correlation between each girl. Oh, they're staring at him. I have a minor qualm about the mirror stuff, but I'll get into that later. That's cool though. Oh, they just straight up took his shit. That's not really his to begin with. Okay. Oh, I love that. Interesting. Did they straight up trap him in on the other side? Nice. Okay. And we do get another nice sort of outro going on. Oh, maybe they've just snuck their way back into the realm of the living. I think I'm picking up what's... Yeah, okay. But dropping the book doesn't help. Okay. Ooh. That was a little too out of focus for too long. And that is the downside of slower frame rate. So, starting us off right where we left off from the previous music video, I think good standpoint and good choice for the narrative element. And then it has that nice sort of film reel burnout effect as well, which is a nice, again, good way to be like, hey, this is what previously happened. Here's where we are now, because you know, burning out film reels, it's a nice little way of showing like memories fading as well. It's like there's a nice nuanced thing. But regarding that mirror thing, I wasn't a fan of. Is more or less the eye line. I'd say it's one of those blink and you miss it kind of things, but it was more her eye line at the time. I don't know what they were going for, more or less. It could have purely been that they want her staring directly to camera, and like she's looking at us, like it's breaking a fourth wall kind of thing. Like that could be interesting and cool in its own right. I personally would have preferred that she was staring directly at him, because his eye line was, obviously he's the one looking in the mirror, so he's looking at himself, and that was, you know, very intense. There's a good bit of emotion there, whatever's going on in his mind at that point in time. There's some, again, good direction in general, but I would have just liked it if she was staring back at him for that quick little flash. If he reacted to that in himself, that would have been great as well. I don't believe he does react to it, which is why it's more of meant for us, more or less. Again, directing choices, it's not for me to decide. I touched on it briefly before with the orange coming from camera left, their right, when they were dancing outside. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sold on it just in general, purely because it is very warm for the rest of the music video. I mean, I know there's fire throughout the place and things like that with all the candles and such, but I just felt, I don't know, because they're wearing the silver outfits as well, and so it really shows up, and I just, again, design choice, I don't know. It's not something I would prefer, or I'm just intrigued as to what they were going for with it. So multiple ways to go about it, but it is that sort of transition. It could be more of, as they're in the same forest, and then you've got the duality in terms of the costume again, as it changes while the locations stay the same. Even the lighting sort of shifts behind them a little bit. It could be more of like, you know, your good old dusk dawn kind of thing, like they're there all the time, they're in your mind all the time. They do say goodnight, and so there is that sort of setting sun vibe maybe. Yeah, I'm not 100% on what they're going for, but it is something that just, it really did stick out to me when I saw it, just kind of like, okay, but why? So I don't do that often, because sometimes I can usually understand why they're going for things, or I get what they want to go for. In this one I'm just sort of on the fence on it, just because it didn't feel like it fit wholeheartedly in the overall theme of things. Music video is great, don't get me wrong, but just questioning some things. Although a cool thing I fucking enjoyed was watching all that paper fly out. Now, in my experience, I have none with the whole special effects thing. I don't believe that looked CG. I didn't look at it long enough, and it was done in slow motion, so you kind of notice these things. But it seems like they've got some sort of, kind of like your confetti cannons, more or less, hooked up behind the bookshelves and through the doorway, and it just, you get pretty big ones that'll shoot the right size paper out without it kind of getting folded and crumpled up. So I would say that's kind of what they went for. You can do a lot of cool things with practical special effects. I've seen a few things. Personally, I have no experience in it though, but I would say I just love that. The fact that they did it in slow motion as well is very helpful for the fact that it is a practical effect. There's a high chance I'm going crazy, but I'm pretty sure I saw the fire going backwards when they were doing a little tracking out shot, which I think spot on dope things. It's not overly blaring as a noticeable thing, but it felt like for that shot specifically, it might have been something that they pushed in on originally, and then in the edit decided, let's just go back. And in doing so, they're technically reversing the footage, and so it looks like the fire is going down instead of flicking up, which, hey, it looked cool for that split second you sort of see it. And I guess I should talk about one of their cool little set pieces they have, especially towards the end of the music video when it's actually on fire, and it is that the wall with the mirror, and I believe one of our members is behind it singing. So in general, that's just a nice straight up wall flat, a good old bit of set someone's made, and they've got a good old hole in it, chucked a frame, made it look the way it does. It's great. But they've also got what I'm hoping is the safe option of a few little bits of they could have just lit things specifically with fire. It could have been special effects as well, judging by the fact that they are shifting focus. You can get away with it a little bit, but I want to believe that it was done as a practical special effect. And so what they did was they may have just gotten specific parts that they have lit, or it is also done with they've got pipes from behind the flat in itself, and they're making a little gas heater thing through there with the fire. That's how you usually do fireplaces, especially in built sets. You'd sort of have the whole rigging system for it. You'd have a ventilation system in a fireplace. You'd have just quite literally, it's like just a gas stove. You just turn it on, boom, fire up. So I'm hoping they did something similar with that, because it is very small and controlled, but it could just be that they've quite literally just put like bits of flammable aspects to it, where they can just bring up a torch and just light each bit individually, and that gives you that nice little look. But again, very small space. I'm thinking, because of how close she was behind them, and just in terms of general safety, that they would have probably set it up in a way that it's like lighting candles, more or less, rather than a whole gas aspect. I don't know, I'm not the guy who made the movie, but I'd love to see some behind the scenes for these things. So, I can't think of any other shots specifically to break down, because they did keep a lot of similar effects to the previous music video, which makes me want to see even more where they go from here. Especially, again, that narrative, we're building something here, and I believe that they are now free and running wild in our world, these beautiful agents of chaos. Who knows? Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.